Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween was released in 2018, and it technically, again, stars Jack Black as Slappy this time for the most part. We do have Jack Black showing up in this movie, so not to worry, but unfortunately he doesn't show up himself for very long compared to the Slappy scenarios and situations. Slappy himself is certainly the star of Goosebumps 2. Also, we have a whole new story in a whole new city with whole new characters going on in this one. So, other than the events of the first Goosebumps film being mentioned in this film, nothing about the characters from the first film, other than R.L. Stine, is really brought to this story specifically. So, this is 3 years later after the Madison incident, and this takes place in New York. And we're following a girl named Sarah who is basically applying to college and basically in the middle of writing an essay that has to do with fear. She has a little brother named Sonny, and Sonny's best friend is named Sam. And Sarah also has I'm not sure, boyfriend or guy she's seeing, or definitely certainly a guy she has a big crush on. That's for certain. And he basically sneaks into her bedroom at the beginning of the film, which for some reason, just the way it played out, reminded me of Scream. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but to me, it was very it felt like a throwback to Scream, or it just reminded me of the opening of Scream with Sidney Prescott and her boyfriend in that first movie. And it's pretty funny because her mom comes into the bedroom and she's that funny mom. She's like, "Doesn't anybody whisper anymore? Hey, I brought some Pringles. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, we better keep it down so we don't wake anybody in the house up. Boom, boom, boom." And she's just like making fun of her daughter and embarrassing the hell out of both her and Tyler, her boyfriend, or the guy she's seeing. And I just found her mom's sense of humor really, really funny in this film. So Sonny and Sam, the two boys, have this business that they do where they basically collect junk from people's homes and flip it, kind of like garage sale flipping, but instead they take the shit for free and they clean out people's houses that don't want their junk anymore, and then they sell that junk for profit. They get a call to this basically abandoned house to go clean out, and they end up finding the Slappy doll in there, as well as a book that they also end up opening. It was basically the same as the manuscripts from the first movie, but this one was forgotten and abandoned by R.L. Stine because it was one of his first. So this was like an unfinished first product by R.L. Stine. They find the book and they find the Slappy doll, and the Slappy doll has this note in his pocket, which they end up reading, and this brings Slappy to life. And like they don't know it yet, but after they read it, the puppet comes to life, and they take the puppet in the book, and then they're attacked by these three bullies who they're kind of funny sometimes, but they're mostly annoying. The bully ends up stealing the book, and Slappy in this situation, I would say that this film probably goes a little bit more kiddish humor than the first one did, just by a little bit, with the jokes that are made and stuff like that. But Slappy having like kind of telekinetic powers and being alive makes the bully's pants drop down, and you see his boxers, and he does this over and over again, and then his pants are like stuck on the ground and he can't pull them up anymore. And Sonny and Sam get away, but the bullies remain with the book. Basically, this first manuscript was half written, and what happens is Slappy basically wanted to start like a family or slash cult of other monsters and basically bring Halloween to life. So one of the things I actually really liked about this movie, and by the way, I liked this one a little bit better than the first, so between the two, my preference is on this one. And I like the fact that this one takes place on Halloween. That's a really cool idea to have a Goosebumps movie take place on Halloween, called Haunted Halloween. And Slappy basically creates this army slash family of everything Halloween coming to life, which is epic. again, you have this whole like cabin in the woods feeling movie where you have a bunch of monsters and demons and ghosts and shit going on all over the place, and it leaves so much room to get creative with it, and they really do. Slappy goes into this like department store kind of thing where his mom, I'm pretty sure, works, and this guy that the mom has a crush on works, named Walter. He goes in there, he starts bringing everything to life, fucking masks all over the place. There was one mask on the shelf that, again, I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but it looked like the Cenobite from Hellraiser 3, the one with the camera on its eye. It looked like the Cenobite man. I don't know if they were kind of if that was like accidental or if they actually took the Cenobite from Hellraiser 3, but that was it. That was the mask. Like that's what it looked like to me, plain and simple. So I really liked that. That was cool. He brings pumpkins to life. One of them is like this military sergeant on the steps that Sonny carved, I'm pretty sure, and put a army hat on top of. And he starts spitting bullets from his mouth, and then another pumpkin starts shooting fire like a flamethrower from his mouth, and there's witches flying everywhere, and Halloween costumes are alive, and fucking gummy bears come alive, for God's sakes. There's when they go into the bully's house to get that book back because they need it to save the town. There's this bowl of gummy worms with, it's one of those bowls that has a green hand sticking out of it, and every time you go take candy, the hand goes like that. So Sam loves gummy bears, apparently. He's obsessed. And he gets scared the first time when he goes for the gummy bears. But they go upstairs, they grab the book. By the time they get back down, this fucking hand is alive from Slappy's supernatural powers. And he goes for more gummy bears, but the hand this time like grabs his arm and starts like attacking him. And then the gummy bears start combining with each other, turning into this massive like Ghostbusters 2 style fucking gummy bear kind of thing. Mr. Chu, I have to mention Mr. Chu, played by Ken Jeong. Absolute genius casting right there. He plays the neighbor of the mom, Kathy, I think. And he's like this like kid-friendly just grown up that lives by himself and has no kids of his own but is obsessed with Halloween. He makes this freaking huge purple spider that is literally on top of his house. It's all made of balloons. It's gotta be like 10,000 balloons or more. And this fucking spider, it's like he has a remote control on it so it can lift its legs and shit like that. And he has mummies all over his yard. Like, this is a cool fucking neighbor who is just like obsessed and in love with Halloween. It's fucking great. Love the guy in this film. He was absolutely hilarious. And as we know, obviously, with all the monsters coming to life, this spider eventually comes to life too. And I love how they throw in a lot of like Tesla elements to this movie and Tesla nods and throwbacks. Sonny is doing a class project on Tesla, and there's a scene where Slappy messes around with his class project to the point where all the electricity starts going bonkers and haywire and basically destroys the classroom. But at the end of the film, there's this electrical tower that powers the town, which Slappy also goes to with Walter, who he turns into a monster using the haunted mask. And I always liked the book, The Haunted Mask, and the show too. That was one of the more popular episodes and one of the more known episodes. So the fact that they used the haunted mask in this film was really, really cool, and turning Walter into this huge haunted mask monster, which ends up being Slappy's sidekick. They end up using this electrical tower in the town to cause more havoc and awaken more monsters. And it's up to these kids, Sarah, Sonny, and Sam, to rewrite this book. And they don't really rewrite it. Sarah basically just uses the book to suck all the monsters back into it, and the story kind of writes itself. So I don't understand how, like, there's a scene where Mr. Chu says, like, or it's not Mr. Chu, it's R.L. Stine basically says to Sarah, like, I was trying to write this book throughout my entire young years, and I could never find an ending for it, and you did it in one night. Good for you. And I'm like, but she didn't really write it. She just captured the monsters in it, and it wrote itself. So I don't know. I was a little bit confused on that. Maybe I missed something, but it's just, I don't know. It's a minor plot hole if unless I missed something, like I said. But I really liked. I don't know. I liked the bonkersness of this movie, and I really liked mostly how it took place on Halloween. And the characters were cool, like especially the side characters. I found the side characters probably more interesting than the main ones, to be honest. Not that the main ones are bad, but you have like Mr. Chu, like I said, played by Ken Jeong, and Walter is funny. The mom's hilarious. All these characters really bring this film to life, and it goes crazier with the monsters, and I really appreciated that. And then you have another cliffhanger ending, just like you had with the just like you had a cliffhanger ending with the first film. So it's cool that these films leave cliffhanger endings, kind of suggesting other films. And I have no doubts in my mind that there eventually will be a Goosebumps 3, because these two did fair enough at the box office from what I've seen. So I can't see there not being a little bit of a demand for a third movie. But yeah, I had my preference, like I said, on Goosebumps 2. But I like them both a lot. And like I said in my first review, just know who you are going in. And don't be a bump in the log, basically, because these films are made to be exactly what they're supposed to be. And if they're not for you, just don't watch them. But if you can turn your brain off and laugh at a silly good time, then yeah, they are definitely worth streaming somewhere or picking up on Blu-ray and checking them out. So that's what I got on Goosebumps 2. Subscribe to Bargain Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I will be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. And until next review, have a good one, take care, and cheers.